The barbarians are at the gates. The great walls of Rome are being battered and big balls of fire rain down onto the city. Creative Assembly is under siege, people. Their corporate overlord Sega recently announced the cancellation of HYENAS. The looter shooter CA had worked for 4 years. Sega, of course being the owners of Creative Assembly, decided to end the life of HYENAS despite the game being done. And I'm using done here in air quotes because we all know as a live service game it's never done. And feedback from the recently concluded beta was clear that HYENAS was just not up to the standard needed in its current state. Sega has also cancelled other unannounced projects, mainly in their Europe studios, which might or might not be related to Total War or CA for that matter. Because Sega also owns Amplitude Studios, 2 Point Studios and Sports Interactive, although I don't think they would be cancelling anything using the name Football Manager, as I could be making one every year and it'll still be minting money for them. The reason for the cancellation: smaller profits in Europe, rising inflation, higher costs. These are things not exclusive to Sega and CA, of course. We've seen a similar trajectory in the entire gaming industry, and you and I have felt the consequences of this. And the consequences of the HYENAS cancellation to CA and the Total War franchise will undoubtedly be a big deal. Now, it all makes sense. The whole deal over the price increase of the Shadows of Change DLC for Total War Warhammer 3, the PR blunder by CA's Rob Bartholomew saying if people didn't buy their games or DLCs they couldn't support their games, which to many sounded like a thinly disguised threat of sorts. It's starting to make sense now. See, it's never been about us, it's about pressure, pushing down on CA, pressing down on them from above, being under pressure by Sega to bring more profits, or else, well, Creative Assembly to some extent has their hands tied here, needing to bend to the will of their overlords. What they did with HYENAS, Sega could do to just about any title, except Football Manager. Total War needs to do well, but based on what's been going on, it doesn't look good. Shadows of Change sales were affected by the negative sentiment and higher pricing, and Total War Pharaoh, well, I posted on Twitter, or should I say X, just a few weeks ago that it's set at the 162nd spot in the Steam top sellers list. It might have gone up lately, but it is way below any other Total War game. There's simply no excitement for the game. People are lukewarm towards it, and without the game being given away for free on Epic, which they did for Troy, Pharaoh has the impossible task of living up to the expectation of Total War fans, and more importantly for CA, the expectation of Sega. And this is a fact. The way things are going, Pharaoh will fail. And the question is, what will happen to CA Sofia? I hate to imagine a fate where hundreds of people lose their jobs due to shrinking profitability or some lame corporate excuse to keep the balance sheet looking good. Sacrifice the people for a figure on paper. I truly hope it doesn't end up like this. As for CA in Horsham, they've not announced their next Total War title, and we have no idea when we will get news about the next major Total War. So the situation really does look grim. There would certainly be an air of nervousness going about in the studio. I have no doubt all these news of cancellation and financial pressure from Sega will force CA to announce the next major Total War, perhaps prematurely. And hopefully we won't get to the stage where CA releases an unfinished title just to please their masters. We've been there. It was not pleasant. We've seen how CA has reacted to the pressure from Sega, price increases, and perhaps a little hint of more egregious things to come with cosmetic DLCs or the dreaded microtransactions. Will CA go the route of Activision Blizzard and monetize the hell out of their IPs? Personally for me, if CA does monetize Total War more aggressively beyond content DLCs, I think it's a step too far for me, and it would be difficult to turn back from there. It would be the point of no return for them. And as gamers, as consumers, there's very little we could do. With higher prices, inflation, this affects us all. And all I can say is spend your dollars or whatever currency you use wisely, buy the games you want to purchase, do your research first, and offer feedback to devs to improve their games. I think we, the Total War fans, have been doing a great job at this, making our voices known to them, but I fear it would be all for naught. Unless there is some big shift in the studio that would change the power dynamics between the developer and the big megacorp publisher owner, make no mistake, we have possibly entered the dark ages in the Total War series. Okay guys, quick word about the content on this channel. I know I've been making a few of these on Total War, but that's just how it is. It's been in the news lately. I'm not sure if I'll do more than one video on Total War Pharaoh, considering people just aren't interested. I just purchased the game, and to be honest, my super early first impression is it doesn't seem interesting. I don't know, I just loaded the campaign and played a battle, so there's a long way for me to go to come up with a more conclusive sort of impression about the game. The next video might take a bit more time to be up. I have a new video idea with a new format which I think will be worth the wait. So if you could help me a little, smack that subscribe button here. Thanks for watching, bye!